Hey guys, it's Amber here at the BioDude Houston location. Josh is on paternity leave and we miss him very much, but we wanted to keep these videos rolling for you. We're going to talk about gargoyle geckos today, and we're going to do a build for them. And we have gargoyle geckos here at the point of sale. They are very, very adorable, and we'll show you a clip of them later. Gargoyle geckos are one of my absolute favorites. They are a tropical arboreal gecko from New Caledonia. Their humidity range is going to be about 55 to 65% on average, with spikes up to 80%. Room temperature does really well for these guys, so your lighting is going to be a lot less than, let's say, a bearded dragon will be. You still want to have UVB and plant lighting, of course, but heat is not necessary. Gargoyle geckos are some of the larger geckos in the world. They're going to average around 8 to 10 inches full grown. That is including tail. It is common sometimes for captive bred animals to lose their tails, similar to crested geckos. They happen to do this because of stress. Sometimes during the mating process, the female will actually bite off her male counterpart's tail. In the wild, that actually is one of their, not say favorite foods to eat, but it is a huge part of their diet, is male counterpart tails, which is kind of weird. But yeah, let's get building. Okay, so we're going to start off with our drainage layer of hydrogrow, and our substrate is going to be terra fauna. As some of you know, terra fauna is fantastic for semi-tropical animals up to tropical animals. This is going to keep a good 55 to 75% humidity range, and you can always manipulate it from there with sphagnum moss, which is your best friend when it comes to humidity. So these are our building components, and I'm going to start getting it into the enclosure. Now we are working with an Exoterra paludarium, which is a 1212 by 24 tall. The paludarium, I love the deep lip. Personally, on a building note, I like to have my drainage layer a little bit deeper, just because I don't like to do all the siphoning in case one of my misting systems goes rogue and it dumps a whole lot more water into the enclosure than I did not intend. That gives me kind of a buffer layer, so I don't have to constantly siphon it out, and I can prevent my substrate from getting stagnant. In goes the terra fauna. Okay. If you guys have seen my past builds, you know I always skate back. Gives me a little bit more definition in my build, and a lot of range on hiding spots that I can create. All right, we're going to dampen that up a little bit. Okay. Then we're going to add our BioShot, the magical element that makes everything happen. I'm just kidding, guys. It's not magic, it's science. If we're not familiar with the BioShot, it's a combination of beneficial bacterial and fungal systems that breaks down waste on a microscopic level. So it'll take care of all of your fecal matter, urates, dead crickets, leftover veggies if you have an omnivore. It'll break it all down so you don't have to clean your enclosure ever again. Looking good. All right. Let's do a base layer of spag. And these babies we have here at the Biodegradables location, they are on the smaller side. They are still quite little. But if you have an enclosure that's a little bit bigger, they will be okay. I know the general consensus of a lot of breeders, because they keep them in smaller racking systems, that they need a smaller environment. This is true, but it can be false. And the way that we make sure the baby is okay in a larger environment is by crowding it up. If you have open spaces, wide, they feel exposed, they don't feel safe and secure, they can absolutely stress out, not want to go out and find their food or their water. So when you go a little bit larger, just make sure you add more plants, more branching. If you think it's too crowded, then you did a great job, and they're going to appreciate that. And contrary to popular belief, when you do this, they're going to be seen a lot more because they feel safe and secure. So don't worry about having it so crowded that you feel like you're not going to find them. They will eventually show their face for sure, especially when they get comfortable in their environment and they feel like it's theirs. Okay, so I was playing around with the configuration earlier because if you know me and my builds, hardscape is always my kryptonite, especially working in a smaller environment. So I'm hoping what I had in my brain is gonna work out in here. Haha, I did it. Okay, let's pull that off. There we go.
Just in case it's asked, why are you not mixing this bag?
Oh, so sphagnum moss, I didn't mix it, which you'll see on a lot of other videos that we do. When it comes to these guys, with their humidity requirements being on the higher end, I put the sphagnum moss on top because we want to get that ambient humidity up here rather than having it stay in the soil. So let's take ball pythons for instance. We mix the sphagnum moss into the terra firma, so that way they have microclimates that they can tap into, but having a 50-55% humidity value up top. Whereas this build is kind of different. We need that 60% up here. And that sphagnum moss, again, is your best friend when it comes to humidity. And that way, your soil is not holding too much water to the point of stagnation, which can cause anaerobic bacteria to build up. So you don't feel the need to overwater to achieve 60% up here. The sphagnum moss is going to help you with that. You know what? Let me put a plant in. All right. So I got the majority of my hardscape in. I kind of have a feeling of what this is going to look like already. So I'm going to throw a couple of plants in there for now. And if you notice, I'm taking all of the soil off of these roots. This is really important. Not only by stimulating these roots right here, I'm letting the plant know that that little bitty pot that you were once in, you can grow out of it and get outside that box. But another reason that we do this is because here at the BioDude, we're extremely passionate about organic everything. So our plants are organic. We don't use chemicals, pesticides, herbicides, anything that could disrupt your CUC, be an issue for your animal, or just bad for the environment all around. By doing this, any potential, let's say, grain mites, soil mites, snails, just things that are part of your natural environment everywhere, they could be on this because of the lack of pesticides. So by rinsing it, we get rid of any specimens there could be, as well as eggs that could be on the root base. This will make sure that your plants going in are going to be nice and safe all the way around. And you're putting it into a clean environment and you're introducing something that's clean. While it's not bad to have snails or grain mites, again, they're just part of almost every ecosystem. There are occasions where you don't necessarily want those in your enclosure. For instance, dart frogs. Don't want snails in a dart frog cage. Fun fact, I don't know if you would call it a close cousin, but a gecko from Madagascar called leaf-tailed geckos, one of my favorites. They eat snails, and it's one of the best ways you can get a female ready for captive breeding is to give them snails in captivity. Make sure that their calcium intake is super high. All right, I don't know if this is gonna fit in here, but I'm gonna try. Nope, I didn't think it was gonna. It's okay. This piece is super awesome. I love all of the lichen that's already growing on here. And one of my favorite things about gargoyle geckos is their natural ability to camouflage themselves within their environment. I am a sucker for a good camouflaging animal. Vietnamese mossy frogs are a great example of that, as are gargoyle geckos. So I have a feeling this little dude, whoever they may be, probably plop himself right about there, feeling nice and secure. Because I'm going to take this plant, since we've got so much height going on here, I don't want to do a lot of ground plants and then feel like this is too exposed up top. I want to give this little dude some spaces that he can feel safe up inside the height of the enclosure. So I'm probably going to plop that right about there. So I'm sure some of you guys recognize this plant. This is a Pothos. It is one of the easiest plants to grow, unless you just don't have such a good green thumb. Once upon a time, I was not the greenest of thumbs. It wasn't until I found Josh's lighting. That was my problem. So what I'm doing to mount this and make sure that this plant is going to have everything it needs, I'm wrapping the roots in sphagnum moss. I can't say enough about this product. I love it. It helps me so much in everything. Very versatile. So as long as this is misted every other day or so and doesn't allow it to get super dried out, it'll stay growing. Try and plop it up here is where I'm going to try and put it, so we can get some coverage up high. This spag is just not working with me. Okay, there we go. Yeah, like that. That way the baby has some stuff up here that they can feel hidden. So you may catch them out here on this ghost wood blending in, or right back here on that cork. So it'll be easy to find the baby because there's lots of little spots they can hide in. All right, we need some cute ground plants. When I'm doing smaller builds like this, I always go for the Botanica. So I feel like I need more plants, but if I put too large, then it just feels overwhelmed. So, you got a spider plant? Yeah, it's a spider plant. I don't know scientific names, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know scientific names on this one, but it's called a spider plant, and it's really easy to grow. And it does well with spiders. I have one in my sun tiger's cage. She loves it. Nice and pink. We need some color. I think at this root base, it's going to be a nice little spot. Perfect. All right, got some color in there, and then I am always a sucker for a really pretty Brahm. Gonna add some pops of purple into that. Okay. Again, I'm gonna put a little spag moss on it. Our bromeliads are air plants. They tend to get most of their moisture from the air. That's why they're good for mounting. I think I'm gonna put it right about there. Yeah. Yeah, I dig that. That looks cool. All right, so I'm seeing some empty spaces going on at the bottom. This is a arboreal gecko, but we don't want any part of our build to feel like bare and open. I don't know, not a fan of that. So when in doubt, nut pods, you guys. Seriously, I love nut pods. They will bring an entire build together. And we're gonna pop one of these little pod heads back here. Oh yeah. I don't have any Bride of Barbados, which is one of my favorites personally, but that's okay. Ram's heads are awesome. Monkey pods are great. My tarantula people, these are super wonderful water dishes. Your baby may use this as a water dish. Some of these will hold water, some of them won't. If you notice yours drains, it's okay, but it's really porous. You can see on the inside. So it may leak water through the bottom. You can just take some silicone, marine grade would be preferable, and make sure you air it out. You don't want to put it in there when it still smells like silicone. So that's what I do for my tarantulas. These particular geckos mostly get their water from leaf droplets. Some of them will use a water bowl, especially I see that a lot more that we've had them in captivity for so long and there's so many generations. They will start using water bowls, but I like to give them a variety of everything so that I ensure that they have whatever it is that they want and that they need. So I'll allow water to catch in that, and then I also will give them a water dish with a ledge. And this build would not be complete without one of the BioDude's brand new awesome acrylic green ledges. So I'm going to pop that in here really quick. Nice. I'm going to make their feed station right on the side. Right here. Nice and easy for me, nice and easy for them to access. Yep. Right up front. Perfect. I love those new ledges, you guys. They're so awesome. I really do like them. All right, so building wise, pretty much done. But no build will be complete without proper lighting, one for your plants, one for your animals. In the hobby, sometimes people will not provide UVB, especially since this species is somewhat crepuscular / nocturnal. They don't go out and bask in the sunlight. They're not constantly in the sun absorbing UVB rays, but anything living that has access to sunlight at some point will benefit from UVB in some way, shape, or form. It's just a fact of, nature. So what I would recommend for a New Caledonian gecko is going to be a shade dweller, 7%. This is going to emit just enough UVB to not harm them, but to help metabolize all of their vitamins and calcium and make sure that everything synthesizes in the appropriate places within their body. And they're overall just going to do better, thrive more, and be healthier, inside and out. So we're going to provide that, and then your plant lighting. BioDude LED. Again, guys, I am not a great plant person. These LEDs have saved my life. My kitchen counter plants don't count because I can't put LED lighting on them unless I hang it from the ceiling, and that's just weird. But my terrariums, they're doing awesome. This is a combination of blue, red, and white diodes. The blue and red stimulate root growth and photosynthesis. It has a high emission of Kelvin and lumens, which helps process photosynthesis in your plants. This is completely different from your UVB lighting. UVB doesn't do what plants need, and LED will not provide UVB. But hopefully soon there will be a combo bulb, and that would be great. Other than that, I think the build's done. Leaf litter. Always forget the leaf litter. Sorry guys, leaf litter is a definite must, especially for your BioShot. All your microorganisms love to break the leaf litter down. So we're going to toss some of that in there. Make sure our soil is going to be nice and healthy. All right, and there we go. That is our Gargoyle Gecko build. I hope you guys had as much fun as I did. I love building, one of our favorite things to do here at the BioDude Houston. Come see us Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., Saturday, 10 to 2. Come get your supplies to build this yourself, or we can build it for you on site. And we can't wait to see you guys. I hope y'all have a wonderful day.